Hey folks, welcome back to my channel. First video of the new year. So anyway, let's get right into it. I would like to do something a little bit different and show you my top 20 favorite record albums, LPs, vinyl of all time, all eternity, whichever comes first. Let's start off with number 20. This is the Buzzcocks from 1980, A Different Kind of Tension. The best song on this record is I Don't Know What to Do with My Life, which used to be my theme song. And in fact, it still is, which is quite sad. But anyway, great record. Okay, great artwork. Next up is something I bought in high school, and it still plays beautifully. I still love it. Fifth Dimension by the Byrds. I believe this was came out in 1966. I was 15 years old. This has 8 Miles High, which wow, what a great song. Hey Joe is on here. Captain Soul, just a classic record. So glad that I have this. And it's strange because I'm notorious for taking bad care of my records, especially the old ones from the 60s and 70s. But this is actually in pretty good shape, so I'm proud of myself. Next up is a classic, I think so, by Marianne Faithfull from 1979 or 1980. I'm not sure which. This is Broken English, which is just a terrific record. It's not only got the title song, which I also have the 12-inch single for the extended version of Broken English. And this has, among other things, a great version of John Lennon's Working Class Hero, which I think is better than John Lennon's version. I'm probably going to get in a lot of trouble for saying that, but yeah, I love this record a lot. Big comeback for Marianne Faithfull after a lot of very difficult years. Her voice had changed quite a bit, was very low and kind of raspy, but wow, what a great, powerful record. All right, next up is Led Zeppelin 3, which I like all the early Led Zeppelin albums, but this is my favorite. Of course, it's got this nice gatefold thing going on. Everybody remembers this record, and it's got the little wheel turning here, which I probably can't turn now. Yeah, come on, Mike, turn the wheel. There you go. Well, it's been around a long time. Um, Yeah, what can I say? I actually bought a reissue of this, which I forgot to bring out, and because this is kind of bad shape. The cover's in good shape, but the record is kind of scratched up. Next up is my favorite record for getting high with all of my friends back in the late 70s, early 80s. Little Feat, Waiting for Columbus. Great music. Have a lot of good memories with this music. All right. Next up is my favorite John Mayall album. Now, I have a big stack of John Mayall records, which I'm going to show you very quickly here. This is The Turning Point from 1969. I love this record so much. Um, my favorite song on here is the last song on the record, which is called Room to Move, where it's just John playing his harmonica. That's pretty much it. And it's terrific, but it also has a great song, California. Going back to California. Yeah, this is great. The personnel on here, because he changed so frequently, John Mark, Steve Thompson, and Johnny Allman. Okay, The Turning Point. And the rest of my John Mayall collection here, I'll show you. 10 Years Are Gone, Blues Breakers Crusade, Jazz Blues Fusion. My friend Frank Catelmi posted this on Facebook a couple of days ago. He's playing it. Great song. I mean, great album. Sorry. The Last of the British Blues. This is A Sense of Place. Hardcore Package. Oh, here's a good one. One of his best. USA Union. Great record. Really great. John Mayall, Moving On. And let's see, another two record set, Back to the Roots. And finally, the very first one I ever bought, and it's the old, I think it's the oldest, I'm not sure. This is Empty Rooms. This is my introduction to John Mayall. All right, next up is an album by Steppenwolf. Came out, I think, in 69 or 70. I'm not sure. This is a live album called Early Steppenwolf, recorded live at the Matrix in San Francisco in 1967. And the best thing about this is side 2 has this 21 minute, 36 second version of The Pusher. It's just this incredible sort of jamming until it breaks out into The Pusher. It's really cool. All right. Next up is my favorite album by Traffic, The Low Spark of High Heel Boys. Wow. Great, great music on this one. There are the boys in high heels. Well, maybe not. Okay. Next up is who are these people? Okay, well, my rock and roll memories go back to the earliest days, and one of the best groups from the earliest days, the Everly Brothers. And I picked this up fairly recently. This has all of their classic songs on here that you remember. So this is a real treasure. Bye Bye Love, Wake Up Little Susie, Bird Dog, All I Have to Do Is Dream, Until I Kissed You. Let's see, Let It Be Me, Kathy's Clown. Wow. Walk Right Back. Gone, Gone, Gone. Wow, I love this. I believe we've lost both of the Everly Brothers now. It's really tragic. These guys were so wonderful. Just never anything like them. Okay, they inspired a lot of people. Next up is something else from the early days of rock and roll, or sort of greatest hits from that era. And this is Gene Vincent's greatest hits. One of the first rock and rollers, the big popular hit in 1956, Bebopalula, which is still one of the best rock and roll songs ever done. Wow, I love this song. Bebopalula, she's my baby. Okay, next up is Supertramp, Even in the Quietest Moments. This is from 1977. Beautiful music on this record. It's got first side has Give a Little Bit, and the third song on the record is the title tune, Even in the Quietest Moments, which is a very long song and very emotional. I mean, I can always get teared up when I listen to that record. It is so emotional. Supertramp, best thing they ever did, in my opinion. Next up is Talking Heads' Fear of Music from 1979, which this is my original copy, and I've replaced it with this reissue. It came out just a little while ago, and this is great music from Talking Heads. This is David Byrne without makeup. Just so you know that. David Byrne without makeup. You can see I've really torn this up. We played this record to death back in the day. Next up is more by the Talking Heads. Well, more songs about buildings and food, which came out a year before Fear of Music. This has their big hit, Take It to the River. Take Me to the River, sorry. But the best song on the record is the first song on side 1, Thank You for Sending Me an Angel, which is a really ridiculous title, but it's one of the best jumping around dancing songs that I can remember. And this is a great record. Lots of cool stuff on this record. Okay, next up, Cheap Thrills by Big Brother and the Holding Company with their lead singer, Miss Janis Joplin. Okay, now this goes back to 1968, and this is my original copy. It looks like it's holding up pretty well, but the record is beat to death. So I got another copy fairly recently. This is a mono copy, and I'll take care of this one. So, and another record with Janus, simply called Janus. If you remember, back in 1975, there was a terrific documentary called Janus the Way She Was, or it was The Way She Was Janus, I'm not sure. But I love that documentary so much, and I went to see it, I think, 10 times while it was playing around here. Great photograph of her. And this is more or less the soundtrack to that, although they've replaced some of the songs that were featured in the documentary with other versions, I guess, for copyright problems. And it's got this gatefold thing going on with there's Janus with her famous Porsche. Okay, and it's got this nice little booklet. There's Dave Getz. Here's the entire group, Big Brother and the Holding Company. And the reason why I put this above Cheap Thrills is not just because it has a lot of her hits from the documentary, but also has the second record has her early performances when she was singing blues and country blues before she became famous. Things like Trouble in Mind, What Good Can Drinking Do, Silver Threads and Golden Needles, Black Mountain Blues, River Jordan, all kinds of cool stuff back when her voice was in perfect, pristine condition before she started playing with a rock and roll band, or I should say singing with a rock and roll band, having to scream and shout, which damaged her voice, you know. But back in the early days, I mean, she was just an amazing, powerful singer, and still was at the end of her life. But this shows her in a much more pure form, I think. Okay, next up is one of my all-time favorite groups from the '60s, Jefferson Airplane, Surrealistic Pillow from 1967. And I've got two versions of this. I got this one recently to sort of take the place. Well, this is still in pretty good shape. This is not my original copy of this record. The one I had that I bought back in high school has long since been deteriorated and disposed of. This is a reissue with a nice gatefold going on. Now, this was their second album, and this is the one that really made them stars with Somebody to Love and White Rabbit. Terrific music on this record, and I love it. I really do. Next up is another Jefferson Airplane record because they were so important to me back then and still are. This is Volunteers, which came out in 1969. They were starting to just get more and more radical, more political. They have the first song on the record is "We Can Be Together," which is sort of encouraging people to go out and protest. The last song on the record is "Volunteers," which is just wild and crazy. And it also has beautiful music like "Good Shepherd" by Jorma Kaukonen. It has Wooden Ships, their version of the Crosby, Stills and Nash song. Just really terrific music. I love Jefferson Airplane so much. All right. Next up is Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young, Deja Vu from 1970. Their follow-up, well, CSN did a record in 1969, which I'm going to show you in a couple of minutes here, and then they added Neil Young and they made this masterpiece of an album, which this is my original copy, and I actually showed a lot of reverence for this and took very good care of it. It's in excellent shape. But I also did buy a little while ago the what is it, 40th anniversary edition or something like that, which has all kinds of cool stuff included. CDs, let's see, outtakes, different versions, all kinds of cool stuff, which freaks like me just have to have. Okay, so next up is the original CSN, which I've also had for a very long time, and I've taken care of this one as well. Just beautiful music by these guys. I love these guys so much. I wish they would be able to get along with each other and be in the same room for long enough to make another record, but I'm not holding out any hope. And I also got a recent reissue of this record, which is on red vinyl. You know how much we love red vinyl. Anyway, check this out. So this is one that I continue to play incessantly because I think it's just beautiful music. Perfect blending of voices, and the studio work of Stephen Stills, which actually created the sound that came to us on the record. Okay, so my number one is back to Jefferson Airplane. Sorry, can't help it. This is After Bathing at Baxter's. I've talked about this in another video recently where I talked about my two favorite records of all time. This is one of them. This is from 1968, and this was their third album. After Surrealistic Pillow was such an amazing hit, I think everybody, including their record company, they were expecting them to come out with something that was even more commercial and make a lot of money. And they came out with this, which is so incredibly strange and radical. that I don't know. I don't know if it ever was certainly wasn't as big of a commercial hit as Surrealistic Pillow, but really I think this is one of the quintessential psychedelic albums from that entire era. And this is a reissue that I got fairly recently. It's on mono. This is my um, original record, which honestly I have just beat to death. Okay, and then I also picked up sometime in the '70s. I picked this up, which doesn't have the gatefold. And this is the one I usually play. This is in stereo. So yeah. Anyway, so that's my top 20. Let me know what you think. Comments are welcome, and I'll see you later. Once again, Happy New Year.